Hi, Emma. Perfect timing. I was actually going to get started. So let's go ahead and start. So tonight we are talking about or continuing working with sellers, and we are going to go through the steps of entering a new listing into the MLS. This is a really important step only because it's going to be the data that is displayed in the MLS. And then once it's displayed in the MLS, it gets pushed out to sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, those other sites that people typically search for homes when they don't have an agent. So once you've logged into your Flex MLS, if you don't have it saved up here to your favorites tab, the add listing link, you want to come to menu under search, I'm sorry, add change, add listing. Let's go ahead and click on that. And there's a couple different tabs up here that you're going to be filling out. You don't have to fill out all of them, and we'll just go through them step by step. So the first is the general tab. It's going to ask you the property type. It's going to be residential. If you are working with a landlord, then you can switch this to residential lease. If you're listing a piece of property, you can do land. If you're a commercial agent, you can add these. A multiple dwelling is if it has two homes on one property, or like a community, like an apartment community. And then business opportunity. Typically, we won't use that because we're real estate. We're not commercial. So anyways, for tonight's class, we're going to choose residential. You will be the listing member. If there's a co-listing member, that's going to be somebody, maybe you have a team lead and they want to be part of your transaction, so that if for some reason you are unavailable, if somebody's calling to show the home or have questions, they can call the co-list member. And then the certified photographer, this is a newer option. And typically, unless their name is listed in here, which for the most part, there's quite a few in here to choose from, depending on who you use, you would choose them. Otherwise, you can do no certified photographer. So once that is filled out, hit the next button. And let's start entering in data. So I'm just going to do an example for my personal home, just to kind of give you an idea of the information that you're going to need for a listing. So you're going to put in the house number. Actually, you know what? For training purposes, because this is recorded and put into YouTube publicly, I don't think I'm going to put my personal address. So let's just switch that up. We're going to make something up. So 123 North say highway road. Obviously, you'll choose the address that you're entering in the MLS data for. City, do Gilbert, Arizona. It's going to put the zip code, a couple options for you if it falls within Gilbert. The county, Gilbert's in Maricopa. If there's a unit number and a building number, you can put that there. Now, typically, if this was not a made-up address, if you hit populate tax data, it's going to pull the assessor's book number, map, and parcel number for us. But because this is made up, it's not going to. And that's okay. Sometimes it may not even find it, so you just move forward. You don't have to put in this information for it to, I don't think you do, to move forward. We're just going to manually locate. Sure, use this location. Okay. Yeah, so you don't have to have those numbers But if you do, then you can put that in. And I will show you later where you can find those. Okay. So list price is whatever price you and your client have agreed upon listing the home at, or at least a starting price. So you can put that in there. The status is either going to be active or coming soon. If you choose the coming soon option, just know that you have only 30 days in the coming soon status. Otherwise, it'll automatically go active. So for training purposes, we're just going to put coming soon. And if you have a question about limitations and special rules for coming soon, just click on the blue and it will go over what you can and cannot do. So again, you only have 30 days to be coming soon in the MLS. But you have to know that even though it's in coming soon, showings are allowed. They're not required, like you don't have to show the home in coming soon. But it is showings are allowed. The property may only be in coming soon status for 30 days. It used to only be 14 days. The listing and co-listing agent may change the price and on market date. Available to all MLS subscribers via searches or hot sheets. Coming soon listings are not syndicated. Coming soon listings must have a listing agreement. Front exterior photo is not required. Coming soon listings will automatically be placed in active status on the 31st day. They can be manually changed to active earlier. A property may only be in coming soon status for 30 of 45 calendar days. That statement doesn't make quite a lot of sense to me, but moving on. Days on market does not accumulate. Days on market will start the first day the listing is active. So sometimes your clients may ask you that question, and that's your answer. Okay. So the list date, if you're looking at your exclusive right to sell document, the list date is stated on page 1. And I am going to pull that up so that I can show you because I want you to see exactly where to find that date. Because a lot of people think that the date is when the final signature by the seller or you is done, and it's not. The list date is the date that the agreement goes into effect because remember, all contracts have to have a clear begin and an end date. So page 1, line 19, I'm sorry, page 1, line 21. This date right here, that is your list date because that is when this takes effect. So again, it doesn't matter when all parties have signed, it matters what date is on line 21. Okay, so let's just put today. The on market date is what date the system will automatically move the listing from coming soon to active status. And again, it reminds you 30 days max. So if I tried to put in 5/31/2025, it's going to give me an error. Oh yeah, that's right. I can't go more than 30 days. Okay. Just say 4/20. Okay. And remember, Every agreement has a clear beginning and a clear end date. So the date on line 22 is your expiration date. So that is the date that you put in here. Whatever date you agreed upon. Typically, it's not going to be an auction. An auction, if I'm not mistaken, is some kind of short sale or foreclosure. I have never done one, so I am not sure. But all I know is that if it is a normal sale, your auction is no. Type. You have two options, exclusive agency and exclusive right to sell. If you have been to any of my classes, you may note that I never go over exclusive agency, and that is because we don't use that form. If you use that form, you are not guaranteed commission if you have a listing and another agent brings the buyer. Because the exclusive agency states that if another outside agent brings the seller a buyer, they get paid. Where this way, if an outside agent with the exclusive right to sell, I mean, if an outside agent brings the buyer, you get paid because you have the exclusive right to sell. So that is the one that you choose. Ownership. Typically, you're going to choose fee simple if it is a single family home that is not on leased land. But if it is on leased land, because there are some communities here in Arizona that have single family homes on leased land. So again, you need to do your due diligence and ask your questions. If it is a condo or a townhome, you're going to choose a condominium, typically only if they're condos. Otherwise, you'd choose fee simple. A timeshare, we don't have many of those here in Arizona. I've never done one, so I'm not sure how that works. So this is typically one you're not going to have. And then a cooperative, again, I've never used that option. I've never done one. I don't really know why you would use that. The most common in Arizona is going to be fee simple, leasehold, or condominium. Again, not that these two won't exist. I just have never done one. So I would ask your broker if you do come across anything that is timeshare or cooperative. Okay, so for this example, we're going to do fee simple. Co-ownership, fractional agreement. Again, I've never done anything like that, so let's just click on it and see what that means. If the sale of the property is for a deeded fractional interest of the property's ownership, buyer is purchasing a forced stake of the property. This does not apply to timeshares. Select no if it is not an offer of a deeded fractional interest of the property's ownership. Okay, so if only somebody has fractional ownership, again, most is going to be no, but again, talk to your broker if you ever come across anything, they can answer any questions for you. Now, location, tax, and legal. This section should auto-populate based on the address populate tax data button. But because I'm making up a fake address, I don't have that information. But typically this will already be in here. So I'm just going to make up stuff. Greenway, Plains, whatever. Tax municipality. Yeah, got it. Say Casa Grande. Estimated taxes, 2000. Tax year is going to be the last year. Okay, owner or occupant name. Now, we have been trained in the past to put clients at ProSmart. You are still welcome to do that. But a lot of people get upset because then they have to go to the tax records. They got to find out who the actual legal name is. So I always ask my client, would you prefer I put client at ProSmart or would you like me to put your name? Just say they said, put my name, it's fine. I don't recommend putting their phone number unless they are going to be the point of contact. General property description. What kind of dwelling is it? Is it single family? Is it an apartment, twin home, loft style, modular, manufactured, patio home, townhome? Whatever best describes your property is what you're going to put here. If it's a condo, it's going to be apartment or a loft style. A loft style is typically where there's no walls except for the bathroom, I believe. Never sold one here, but they do exist in downtown, I believe. But for training purposes, we're going to choose single family. Dwelling style, is it detached? If it's single family, typically is going to be detached. Maybe it's a Gemini or a twin home. It's going to be attached. That means it has somebody attached to it. A townhome would have somebody attached. Some townhomes are stacked. Others are attached. So just know like what kind of property you're working with, and choose the appropriate one. Gives a kind of an example right here of what one is. Exterior stories. How many stories from the outside? Say 2. How many interior levels? Even though there's 2 stories on the outside, maybe it's a tri-level. So you might have 3 levels on the inside. Notice this excludes basements. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? If I put 4.5, that means there's 4 full bathrooms and 1 half bathroom, otherwise known as a powder room. It's got a toilet and a sink. That's it. But if I put 4.75, that tells me that I have 4 full bathrooms that have a tub shower. And then I've got 1 bathroom that has no tub, only a shower. Of course, toilet and sinks as well, but the 0.75 you are supposed to put for a bathroom that has a shower. And then a full bathroom is tub shower, whether they're combined or not. Apartment square footage. I'm sorry, approximate square footage. Say 2,000. And then the source. Typically, what you want to see is the assessor, but sometimes you might see appraiser, architect if it's a custom builder again if it's custom. Sometimes you'll see owner. If you see owner, I would highly recommend making sure that your home inspector can verify the square footage for you, just to make sure that it's accurate. Most of the time, the assessor and the appraiser are going to be accurate. But if it's important to your buyer, that is something that they want to investigate. So notice that there's things in red and there's things in black. The items that are in red are required. The items in black, they are not required. And these little question marks over here, they're hyperlinks. So you can click on it to get more information. Or you can click here to mean what this code means. Okay, so let's move on. This is not a horse property. If I know who built the home, or what model it was, I'll put that here. The builder name, a lot of builders are unknown out here. If you don't know it, just put unknown. What year was it built? You can typically find this in the tax records. So maybe the home has never been sold in the MLS and you weren't able to get any of this information. If you click on monsoon, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to lose this. But if you click on monsoon, you can search by the address or the current property owner's name, and it will pull up the property based on what's recorded with the county. So if somebody owns a home, it's been recorded, even though in the tax records, even though it hasn't been sold in the MLS, because the MLS really isn't that old. I think it's only like 20 to 30 years. 30 years might even be too long. But if it's recorded with the county, they'll have record of who the current owner is, and they will have basic information such as when it was built, who the property owner is. It should have approximate square footage, the size of the property, that kind of stuff. So a lot of this information, again, if you weren't able to pull it or auto-populate it from the address tab, you can go to the tax records to get this information. So let's say this property is on 1/4 of an acre. Oh, that's square footage. Let's just say 6,800. And let's say that auto-populated. Sweet. And then it's going to ask the source of it. So let's just put the county assessor. If you know it's in a flood zone, put a yes. Otherwise, just leave it blank. Does it have a pool? Does it have both private or a community? Does it have only a private pool or none? You do have to select one. So let's just say private. If it's in an HOA, you could put the name of the HOA. You did put that up above though, so this is double information, like entry, in my opinion. Okay, you do have to figure out the school district. This information can also be found on the monsoon or in the tax records. And this does not auto-populate, unfortunately, so you do have to know the school district. I'm just going to click on stuff because it's just training. But make sure this is accurate. If you accidentally put something wrong, of course, we do want to talk to the sellers because the sellers should have this information, but maybe they didn't have kids, maybe they don't know. You can get this information from the tax records, but if you accidentally put it in wrong, it's not the end of the world. Ultimately, everything that we enter into the MLS, if it is important to the buyer, they are the ones that are supposed to do their due diligence. We, in good faith, want to make sure that we are giving them the correct information up front, but we're human. Sometimes we accidentally hit the wrong thing, or maybe we just didn't know. Again, don't guess, like try to dig into where the school district is. You can call the county, they can give you that information. Do your due diligence as well. That's what we're paid for. Okay, remark and miscellaneous. Again, this is not in red. It is not required. However, you do want to put this information because you do want to give them cross streets. So let's just say Warner and Higley. Directions. You want to be short, sweet, to the point. So from Warner, head south on Higley. Turn right on Ross, ... don't put the ... That's just other directions. I'm just skipping ahead. Take first right, home is on the left, or something like that. Well, back in the day, we didn't have GPS, so we had to go by the written directions that the agents gave us. Again, probably why this is not required anymore. Now, here you'll notice that the property access information, gate codes, lockbox codes, and alarm codes are not placed in this field. This is public information, so never, ever, ever, ever put that here. Public remarks, this is like your property description. Chat GTP, amazing for this kind of stuff. Log into Chat GTP, whatever it's called. And you say, write me a listing description for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home, 1,600 square feet with pool. Talk about the shopping and dining that's located in this community. You can tell ChatGTP whatever you want, and it will create an amazing, well-written property description for you to copy and paste in here. This only allows you to put in 800 characters. So if you have more than 800 characters, click over here on the blue button, and then you can put the rest of it here. ChatGTP should be your best friend when writing listing descriptions. It's phenomenal. Ever since I started using it, I've never gone back because I could never write that well. Okay. Private remarks. This is going to be information that we want to talk from agent to agent. So we're relaying information specifically for the agent. Again, no codes or anything go here. But this is something like, please consider using Patrick with, sorry guys, snap title, his info, email, phone, address, ... If you have professional photos coming soon, you can leave a little mark here or a little note here. If the home is coming furnished, you can leave a note here saying home or furniture is available with the full price offer, or you can say home comes fully furnished, can negotiate that on a separate bill of sale or whatever it might be. Again, this is just information that you're communicating from you to the other owner. Semi-private remarks. Again, it's just information normally disclosed to the public, normally not disclosed to the public and marketing, and maybe shared to the client if needed. Again, that might be something that you put like, partially furnished, can be negotiated, that kind of stuff. Again, no property access. And then office remarks, this is just for the office, but you don't have to use that. I've never used that one, so it's up to you. Okay. So once we have filled out all the required information here, you're going to hit next. And that's going to take you to the details of the property. This top section should have auto-populated from the tax records. If it didn't, the only thing that's required is a lot number, and again, you can find that from the tax records. This section, see how it's highlighted in red? That means that it's required, and it tells you how many of 16 items is required. So you have to choose one of these 16 options. So how does it best describe your property? Is it a short sale? Is it an auction? Is it owner agent? Is it a pre-foreclosure? Is court approval required? That might be because somebody passed away and maybe it's in a trust or something. Again, probate estate. Whatever it might be, you need to check it. FERPTA, that's a good one. Are they a foreign investor? If so, check that. Let's go ahead and check that. And maybe it's also in a 55 and older community, so it's going to be age restricted. Status update, again, not in red, not required. Payment and rate, not required. I don't even know why you would touch this. We're not lenders. Association fees, well, this is not in red. This is. And the reason being is because maybe it applies, maybe it doesn't. However, if it's in red, you have to answer. So let's just choose yes, that it isn't an HOA. Once I choose that, it's going to bring up a whole bunch of other questions that are going to be required. Is there an HOA disclosure? Yes. If so, there's going to, so this is the actual document, the HOA disclosure addendum. That's what that means. And you check yes if you will be uploading that addendum at the time of making this listing active. And I highly recommend that because you should give the buyer all required information that they need to make a informed offer, or their best offer, I should say. Is there a transfer fee? If there is, put in the amount. If there isn't, put 0. Is there a monthly HOA fee or annual? semi-annual? Let's just say there is, and let's say that they pay this quarterly. So that means every quarter they're going to pay $200. What is the hamstring? What is the name of the HOA name? What is their phone number? Is there a management company? And if so, is it different than the HOA name? If it's not, don't worry about it. Special assessment. Is there one or is there not? If you choose yes, again, more options are going to come up. So a special assessment, you want to talk to you want to have your client call and get this information, and you're just inputting it based on what they give you. But let's say there's a special assessment owed. What is that? And then how often? Is it annually, monthly, quarterly, semi-annually? And then again, has to have a clear start date and a clear end date. Some HOAs have more than one. Some subdivisions have more than one HOA. And if they do, then you'll answer yes here. And again, more information will pop up because again, we have to provide this information to them. For training purposes, I'm going to put no. Is it a planned area development? And if so, is there an extra fee on top? If yes, it's going to ask for the fee and it's going to be for how often is it required. But notice how I change it back to N and that's not required. It's not in red. Capital improvement fee, sometimes otherwise referred to as community enhancement fee. I recommend that if they are calling it a community enhancement fee, you make note of that somewhere because I've had it come up where a buyer's agent tried to state that I never disclosed it. And because of line 75 on the HOA addendum, anything not disclosed was up to the seller to pay. And I argued and stated the capital improvement fee is also referred to as a community enhancement fee. And title actually agreed with me. However, because of that, now I don't want it to ever be an issue. I just put it somewhere like other HOA fees in the other description. I'll put that here, like say community enhancement fee. I didn't spell that right. I'm the worst speller ever. And I'll put 300 there. Shoot. Sorry. 300. There. Oops. That wasn't a line. There. Okay. And then I'll come up here and put 0 for the capital improvement. I'll put a dollar sign because you have to choose, is it a percent or just a dollar amount. Prepaid association fees, that's typically 2 months of the HOA fees. Or what they are going to collect up front. So I'm just going to put 200. That's just a guess for us because it's ultimately going to be up to title what they're going to collect or based on the HOA assessment. I shouldn't say we guess it. Let me rephrase that. We put the information that the HOA community gave the seller. And if the seller said that they said it was a $200 prepaid association fee at closing, that's what you put here. Disclosure fee, if there is one, put it whatever it is there. Okay. Land lease fee. This is if the home, mobile home, whatever it might be, is being sold as real property because it's affixed to the property. And there's a land lease. So they don't own the land. They're going to pay a monthly fee to lease the land that the home they're buying is on. Very common in a couple communities in Mesa, typically 55 and older communities, but there are some communities that are single family that have the land lease fee. So if there is one, choose yes, and then this information is going to come up. And typically it's a pretty significant fee. And it is required. So, if they're doing a finance deal, this is going to be part of what they are going to need to qualify for, because they're going to have to make this monthly fee every single month. Or quarterly or annually, whatever it is. Rec center fee, again, this information would come from the HOA. Under occupant, choose which one best fits. Is it vacant, tenant occupied, owner occupied, or is it like a VRBO? Winter visitor. Additional property use. If you know it's a farm, or they could have a business on the property, or it's a ranch, you can choose it. Otherwise, just don't even worry about it. It's not in red. It's not required. Same with the architecture. If you don't know what type it is, don't answer it. If it's a custom home and you know the architect, put the name. The building style, if it is like a small apartment community, that kind of stuff. But again, it's not required, so you don't have to put that. Master bathroom, it is required, and you have to choose one of the 10 items below. So if it applies to your home, check it. Separate tub and shower, private toilet room, a bidet, double sinks, full master bath, because again, it has the tub, shower, it's got the bathroom, it's got the sinks, it's got everything. So it's considered a full master bath. If the master bedroom is a split, and split means it is completely away from all the other bedrooms, it does not share any adjoining walls, then you would put split. If it's downstairs or upstairs, put it. If it's not split, I wouldn't check it, because that really isn't going to matter. Additional bedrooms, if any of these apply, you can definitely check it. Like if there's 2 master bedrooms, that's kind of cool. I'll put it this way. If it's not in red and it's not required and it doesn't help you sell the house, don't check it. But if it's going to be a feature that maybe someone specifically is going to search for, absolutely check it. So let's just say 2 masters, because heck yeah, who doesn't want 2 masters? Master bedroom sitting room. That's a cool feature. So I'm going to check it. Okay, fireplace features. Again, one of the 13 items is required. If there is no fireplace, just put no fireplace. What type of flooring? Notice it's not required. So like if you have laminate flooring or linoleum, I don't know if I'm going to click that because it doesn't help sell my house. They're going to tell from the photos, but you don't have to put that. If you don't know about the windows, don't check anything. It's not required. But if you know there are solar screens, that they're dual pane, they're tinted, they're Energy Star qualified, absolutely check them, because those are all features that are going to help sell. You do have to check if there's a pool. If there's not, then don't say there is one. But you did check previously that there was a private pool. So if I see a listing that says that there was a private pool, but then I don't see any pool features, I'm going to question it. I might call the agent. So for training purposes, I'm just going to choose that we have a private pool. Maybe it's heated. If it's above ground, choose above ground. Spa, private, heated, above ground. If it's like built into the pool, it's not considered above ground. Community features, again, if it helps sell the community, absolutely check it. Pickleball is a big one that people are looking for. So if there's a pickleball in the community, highly check that. Gated is another huge one. Golf course, again, only if it applies to your community, check it. Dining area, is it formal? Is there an eat-in kitchen? Is there a breakfast bar? Dining and living in great room? Dining in the front room? Breakfast room, whatever it might be, but you do have to check one. Say there's formal and a breakfast bar and an eat-in kitchen. Kitchen features. Again, check things that are going to help you sell the home. A lot of people want gas, so I'm going to choose that my house has gas if it does. Disposal, built-in microwave. Is there multiple ovens? Is there a walk-in pantry? Is there a kitchen island? Whatever it might have, check it. Laundry room, is the seller leaving the washer and dryer? If so, check that. If they're not, don't check that, just put the washer dryer hookup only. If it's in the garage, is it inside? Is it upstairs? Upstairs is definitely a feature that a lot of people search for, so if your home has that, definitely check that. Is it a basement home? If so, check yes. I'm going to check yes. And when I check that, now this is required. Okay, separate den and office. If you have a room in a house and there is no closet in that room, it is considered a den or an office. It is not considered a bedroom. It also has to have a window, if I'm not mistaken, to be considered a bedroom, but I am not the expert on that, so don't quote me on it, but I believe it does have to have a closet and a window to be considered a bedroom. But if you click yes, yes, this is going to increase your count of a 4-bedroom plus den. So it's gonna increase your count. When you look at the listing, it'll say, 4+ rooms. Other rooms, again, if this applies, click it. If not, don't worry about it. But if you choose a bonus room and a loft, again, or the library built-in bookcase, all of those fields are going to increase your bedroom count by 1. Home features, again, if it applies, check it. What is going to help sell this home? It has vaulted ceilings, 9+ ceilings. If there's 8-foot, don't check that. Is there a water softener? Or is there only a loop? Does it have a water purifying system? If you have a home that has been modified for elderly people or for someone with special needs, like, hallways that are 36 inches or wider, or you've got a wheelchair accessible kitchen, meaning the kitchen counters are lower. If any of these apply to your home, check it. Items updated. This is important. People are looking for homes that are move-in ready, things that have been updated. So you're going to get this information from the seller. Just make sure that you know what year it was and whether it was partial or full. What kind of technology? Again, it's not in red. It's not required. Exterior features. If the home had, now exterior features is for the home itself, not the community. So do you have a gazebo on the property? Do you have a misting system? Do you have a covered patio? Do you have a built-in barbecue? Do you have a guest house? Do you have a sport court? Whatever it might be, you can check that. A manufactured home feature. Is it single wide, multi-wide? Is the affidavit of a fixture available? Is it in a subdivision? Parking spaces. How many garages do you have? How many carport spaces do you have? And then slab parking. For slab parking, I usually just count 1 car behind each garage. So if you have a 2-car garage, you've got 2 slab parking. If you've got an RV gate off to the side with a piece of concrete there, I include that as a slab parking. So I'll just say 3. Parking features. If it applies, check it. A lot of things that people search for is if there's RV parking or if there's an RV garage, a gate, that kind of stuff. If you have a 3-car garage, but it's tandem, this is where you would check that. Who is responsible for the road? Is it city, county, privately maintained, whatever it might be? Construction. Most homes are always going to be a wood frame. Some of the older homes, they might be brick. So just know what kind of home you're dealing with. Okay, construction finish. Most homes are going to be stucco here in Arizona. But sometimes you'll have aluminum siding or a fiberglass siding. Those are like modular homes. Um, I would just choose the minimum, like what do you know is the siding? So for example, I know my home is stucco because it's got the stucco finish. But it also has like a brick trim with veneer or some, it's got stone. Like I could choose that if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to. If by chance you have some kind of special construction status, you can update that here. What kind of roof? Is it composite? Is it tile? Is it foam? Is it metal? Those are the 4 most common. Most homes are going to have composition or tile. Does it have central air? Are there ceiling fans? Does it have a programmable thermostat? If it applies, put it. And if you know the HVAC SEER rating, put that because that, a lot of people like that. Say 17 SEER. And if my home is Energy Star qualified, I've got that. Now, I'm going to click on this because there's a certificate that you need to provide if you're clicking that. So if you're just guessing, don't guess. The owner will have a certificate. What type of heating? If you don't have gas on the property, you know that it's going to be an electric heat. Maybe it's propane, maybe it's the gas. Maybe there's no heat, whatever it might be, just check it. Plumbing, not required, but if you know, you can put it, like I have a tankless water heater. That's a good selling feature. So I'm going to click that because then it will show up on my data sheet. Energy green features, if you have any of this, go ahead and put those in, but if not, skip over it because it's not required. Green energy cert, if you have that, you can click that because that is kind of huge, especially for the summers out here. Solar panel, if you have a listing with solar panel, you got to be very specific here. Does it have a monthly lease assumption? Is it owned outright? Is it owned, but you still have a lease assumption or a loan assumption? Do you have a loan or a lease assumption, but it's prepaid? And what happens after the lease is up? These are all questions that you should be asking your seller because the buyer's agent is going to be asking you. Who is the utility company? Who's the water source? Is it city water? Is it a well? If it's a well, then you've got additional paperwork that you need the seller to sign. Sewer, is it connected to city services or is it on a septic tank? Or maybe it's septic, but it's connected to the city services. I do like to check this one, even though it's not required, because if it is city services, I like to note that it is. What kind of fencing? Most in Arizona is going to be a block fencing, but sometimes there are others. So just go through and see which applies. Property description. Again, if it helps you sell your home, definitely check it. Maybe it's in a cul-de-sac. Maybe it's got mountain views, north-south exposure. I don't feel an east-west exposure helps you sell your home here in Arizona because those are the 2 worst exposures for sun. So just check north-south. What kind of landscaping does the property have? Is it grass in the front? And if it is, does it have a yard watering system? Is it an automatic timer? Maybe it's dirt in the back. If it's a horse property, this might turn red. Remember, we answered no above. So if it is a horse property and this is in red, then you have to choose it. But if not, don't check it. Showing instructions. Yes, I always, well, if it's vacant and you don't have to have permission to show it, maybe it's a go and show, you would choose no, but otherwise choose yes. Aligned Showings is the servicing company here down in the valley. Maybe you're not using a service, maybe it's a non-MLS showing device for testing purposes only, whatever it might be. Lockbox type. Do you have a super lockbox or is it going to be a mechanical lockbox? And this is where you enter in the lockbox code here. So if there's an alarm code, you put that in. If there's a gate code, put that in. Mechanical lockbox. And then location, front door. Possession. When does the buyer get possession? Is it by agreement, meaning the seller has maybe a lease back, or is it close of escrow? Maybe they have a tenant in there and they have a lease that doesn't end until 2 months after you've already closed on the home. So subject to tenant rights, whatever that might be. Unit style, this is going to apply if it's a condo. Association fee is what does the association cover in their monthly fee? Typically for communities like a HOA homeowners association, typically it's going to just be common area maintenance. But if you're in a condo association, then it might be roof repair, blanket insurance, maybe sewers included, pest control, water, garbage collection, whatever it might be. This is definitely something that you want to check if you have a townhome or a condo association that covers these with their fees, because that's something that I, as a buyer, want to know. Association rules. What do they allow? Are pets okay? Do they have a clubhouse center? Are rentals okay? The club membership opt-out, that's optional. So, if it is, check it. That's kind of cool. What type of loan? I always choose free and clear because I don't think that it matters what kind of loan we have, um, in my opinion. If you have an assumable loan, you can choose that. I've never done one, but if you have one that can be assumed, then you can check it. New financing. This is a question for your seller. What kind of financing do they want to allow? Cash, VA, conventional, FHA, 1031 exchange. Those are the ones that I typically check. Of course, with my client's permission. And I go over the types of loans, and we will eventually have a class on the different types of loans so that you understand what the difference is between all of them. Disclosures, seller disclosures are available. You have to choose one. That's typically the one you want to choose. Maybe it's close to an airport. And then your phone number. We don't have an office number here. I'm sorry, a fax number. And then your listing agent cell phone. Hit next. If you want to go and put in room measurements, this is where you would do that. Otherwise, move on. This is going to be checked automatically for you. So basically what this states is that by entering the information into the MLS, it is going to push that data to realtor.com, Zillow.com, other sites like Trulia, whatever it might be. And that gives your client's home more exposure. So once you have completed these tabs here, save incomplete listing. And that is going to take you back to a page where you can upload documents such as the HOA addendum, the septic, if it was on septic, the claims history. You can upload that there. Seller disclosures. I don't know if I said that, but if I didn't, seller disclosures. So basically, all forms that you have to deliver to the buyer somewhere in the contract, if you have them filled out prior to the listing going live, I highly recommend uploading them to the MLS. And the reason being is because then that is your delivery to the buyer and the buyer's agent, because it was in there before you went live. So they had access to it. So if they come like at day 10 and say, hey, you're in breach of contract, you never delivered the, X, Y, and Z, you could say, well, actually I did. It was in the documents tab as of this date, so you can go get it. You can always send it to them to be nice, but it's up to you. If you have photos to upload, you would do that here. Add photos. You have a virtual tour, you would add a description and then the URL there, and it will upload the video to your listing. Okay. So let's say you saved your incomplete and you want to go back and you want to make a couple changes. Either you have it saved up here on your favorites with my listings, or I'm sorry, my incomplete, because again, it's not a listing yet, it's incomplete. Or you can find that over here in the menu under add change, my incomplete. You just click on it, scroll down and hit edit. And that will take you back here. And if you click on listing information, you can continue editing as you need to. Save and complete, it'll take you back to that original screen. Now, after you've entered in all the data that you needed to for your listing, you need to print and save the MLS data sheet because your client has to sign it. I think my computer froze. So I'm going to go back to my incomplete. I see this little print or email. You can click here to do it. Print input form. This is the form you want to save and have your client initial every page, and then you and your client both sign the last page. And this is called the MLS data input form. It is a required form, and your clients have to initial every form. Now, let's say you accidentally entered in something wrong and your client calls it out. Well, they can still sign this. This is just stating that you went through the information and that they verified it, whether it was right or wrong. Of course, we do want to be as thorough as possible, but it's not the end of the world if you accidentally don't put something correct. But you can always go back and change it. And the way you do that is just close out of here, go back to your incomplete, edit, listing information, change it, save and complete. It'll take you back to your page where you can then, from this screen, once it loads, print or email this listing. Takes you back to the same page, scroll to the bottom, print input form, print it, save it, have them sign it, upload it to transaction desk. As a reminder, any documents that you have signed by your clients have to be uploaded and reviewed within 10 days or you will get a fine for late documents. Whew. Lots of information tonight, but that is how you enter in a listing into the MLS. And I went just a little bit further with this input data form because that's typically when you're going to want to print it because you're done and putting the information. Does anyone have any questions on the material that we covered tonight? And And iPhone 598, can you please tell me who you are? Or text me privately if you don't want to announce it. Just text me privately. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming to class tonight. Have a great evening. I will see you all next week.